Today we're going to use the inner of an embroidery hoop. It's a plastic one that I don't think I'll end up using. We're going to use some Do Crafts at Christmas paper. We're going to use 6.5 sheets cut into strips and stuck around the hoop with some liquid glue, and then we're going to embellish. And now we're going to take 1.5-inch strips off each of the 5 different sheets of Do Crafts pattern paper. This has got a nice texture on it, which is only 160 GSM, but it's got a sort of a fabric finish which gives it a bit more stability. I actually ended up by putting a sixth pattern sheet in to the mix and sequenced the paper so that I had a good mix of colours, and then I used another half sheet for the central message. And here we've got some liquid glue. Anything is fine as long as it doesn't overwhelm the paper, and liquid is better than a tape runner because you've got a little bit of wriggle room. You just take your 1.5-inch strip, fold it tightly over the hoop, try and line the edges up, and let the ink dry before you move on to the next strip, and do exactly the same. And now we worked our way all the way around the wreath. I have speeded this up because you don't want to watch me do it time after time. At this point I've realised that I need to squeeze things up so that the strips don't leave any gaps, and I'm just tidying up one of the strips I didn't trim properly so that you don't see any white paper, and I'm going to go back and cut another set of different paper colours so that I can have the strips really tightly packed all the way around. And now let's get ready for the cutting. I've made a mark on my scissors so that I cut up the middle of each of the strips of the paper exactly the same distance, and then having a middle cut I move in from left and the right to create a consistent fishtail all the way around the wreath. And now I've taken a piece of very thin washing line type cord. I've taken about 24 inches and tied it in a loop so that I can work out how it's going to hang on the wall. I'm just positioning it so that the knot won't show, but I've got enough slack in case I've not cut it long enough. And now my hot glue gun's heated up at the side. I've got it resting on a silicone mat so that the drips don't damage the table. And I'm going to put plenty of glue on there so that the paper doesn't run the risk of tearing when it's in position. Just have to be careful with hot glue because it burns the fingers quite easily. Now I've taken some 4 by 1 inch strips, doing the fishtail pennants again, and I've stuck them over the central bit of the cord that we're showing, and I'm going to stick a little seasonal message in the middle. Just checking that's all ready, and my seasonal message is merry, and this is the point where I think it needs a little bit of embellishment. So with my paper punches I've cut some stars and some holly leaves. I found some chipboard shapes that I was going to use for cards, and the little bits are being glued down and the bigger bits will be hot glued down, and there we have it. Really pleased with